Hey everyone, I'm excited to be interviewing the incredible Jeanette Stampone today. Jeanette is an amazing, aspiring author and illustrator. Her debut picture book is coming out in 2021 and I'm so excited to see it.
Me
I
too.
am I am blessed to be in one of the same critiquing groups as Jeanette. I have enjoyed reading and critiquing some of her amazing work, and I have also been privileged to get constructive criticism and wonderful advice about my manuscript too. So this is a very special interview for me. I believe that Jeanette is an inspirational author slash illustrator because of her beautiful artistic talent, where she can turn even the most unusual thing into a brilliant piece of artwork. She is also a member of the SCBWIOS and a fabulous writer. Jeanette, thank you for letting me grill you.
Thank you for the really nice intro. That was really kind.
Are you ready to get started?
Yep, sure am.
Completely unrelated to your incredible work, you grew up with stories of pixies and fairies. If you could be best friends with a pixie, what would their special talent be and why?
Ooh. Well, the Pixies that I knew, because I did know some, I did have some friends who were Pixies, were from a place called Dartmoor. I don't know if you've heard of Dartmoor, but in the southwest of England, there's a huge expanse of land called Dartmoor, and it's really wild, and that's where most of the Pixies hang out. And there's also Dartmoor ponies there. So I think my pixie best friend would probably make the ponies fly. So we'd go on these magical journeys together.
Love that.
Yes,
Love that.
because they are real. So I'm just saying.
Now, onto your incredible work. I love your illustrations. They are so unique and are playful with textures. Where does the inspiration for this unique style come from?
Well, it took a little bit of a learning journey, to be honest. I've had a few critiques via Squiddy, and they've been great. I've got some great feedback. But what I kept being told time and time again was to add more texture. And I work digitally, so I wasn't really sure how to do this. A lot of my work just looked kind of flat. And I tried all different brushes, it still wasn't really working for me. And then one day I was drawing a little picture of a baby, and I really wanted to try and make a blanket for the baby. And I was drawing it, I just couldn't get it right. And then I just thought, well, I've got blankets here. Why don't I just scan in a blanket and see what that looks like? And I actually dug out my own baby blanket that I had from when I was a baby, scanned it into my computer and added it to my illustration, and it looked really cute, and it added the personal element to my work. And then from then onwards, everywhere I looked, I've got all these resources around me. Like, so I go out in my garden and there's leaves and flowers and feathers, and in my house there's all different textures. So I'm just using them more and more and experimenting. It's so much fun. Really love that style of working. Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool and unique. That's so really.
Thank you.
I love that idea. In 2021, your debut picture book will be released. How exciting!
Yes.
Without giving away too many spoilers, can you tell us about it?
Well, my picture book, yes, it's going to be released next year by Red Paper Kite. Red Paper Kite are a gorgeous boutique publisher based in Perth. They produce the most amazing books. They're really unique and quirky, really high quality. What I love about their books is that on the end papers, they have space for the child reader to colour in. So once the story's finished, and it's an expansion of that story, so the child can create their own story in a way. So that's a bit about the publisher. In terms of my book, I can't tell you too much because it won't be a surprise. But what I can tell you that it's an imaginative story. But while it's imaginative, it's also based on real life themes such as bravery, friendship, and just not being afraid of who you are. So that's all I can really tell you.
I love
I'm
that.
very excited.
I'm super excited too. I love that. And I love the fact that the publisher puts that in the back of kids' books. That's really cool.
There's lots.
Where did the inspiration come to you for this book?
The idea came several years ago, really. It's changed a lot since then, but it was based on my own experiences of being a child and those thoughts and feelings of what it's like back then. But since I had my own children, it's changed a lot. they're the ones that inspire me every day, because they remind me of what it was like to be a kid, really. And obviously they're two different individuals to how I was when I was a child, so they give me a new perspective on childhood. So yeah, they're my main inspiration.
Oh, that's so sweet. I bet they can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah. I don't think they're as excited as I am, but they're pretty happy too, yeah.
In the future, when you are illustrating other authors' books too, who is an author you'd absolutely love to work with?
Oh, I tell you who I really admire. He's actually an artist as well as an author, is Ando. Because you see his books everywhere. You know, you go in the shop, they're everywhere, and he's just selling so many books, and you think, oh, it's easy for him. He just writes a book, and then he sells loads and loads of books. But if you look in his background, his family, he comes from a family of refugees. His family had to deal with pirates. They came over to Australia and faced extreme poverty, and yet through it all, he managed to make a success, and that's just basically down to his hard work and determination. And I just really admire his determination and what he's been through. I think he would be amazing to work with. He's very talented.
That's so cool. I love his books. I love seeing all your gorgeous illustrations that you share on social media. They are just amazing. Can you pick a couple of your favorites for us and tell us a bit about them?
Yep, so I was thinking that maybe I could be really technical and share my screen. Can I try that?
Yes, that would be awesome.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. Let's have a look. Okay. So I'll just share my screen, and I'll go to Instagram where I've got my work. Hopefully that will work. Can you see it okay?
Perfect.
Okay, so this one up here is probably my favourite, because it's all different elements of things that I found. So the feather I found on the beach, just going for a walk, and then the little fabric dress, the little dolly dress, was from a local craft centre. I've got scraps of fabric everywhere in my drawers. And then the background is just like the swirly blue sky is painted with acrylic, just on a piece of old cardboard. So yeah, just using all those different elements combined just makes a really fun scene with lots of texture. So it's one of my favourite, and I like the way that the feather is kind of out of proportion to the girl, kind of adds that little quirkiness to it. That's probably one of my favourites, I think. I'll just find.
I love it. It's so pretty.
Thank you. And this one here is also one of my favourites. So I took the photo of the leaves when I was out on a bushwalk with my two children. I just happened to look down, and I just thought it just looked beautiful, all the leaves. It was just completely covered. So I just couldn't help but take a photo. And then when I got home, I just added the little girl, and it was really fun playing with those textures and the layers. So it looked like the girl was actually in the leaves with her leg underneath. Yeah, so that was one of my earlier pieces when I started playing with the textures, and I really enjoyed that. And I'll just show you one more. Thank you. So this is one of the baby that I was talking about earlier, that really started this whole thing with the textures. And so that's the actual baby blanket that I had when I was a baby. So I scanned that in. So it's kind of, yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. I love it.
Thank you.
Ooh.
And I'll just stop sharing, so hopefully we can go back to how we are. There we go. Yeah.
When you are a super rich and famous author illustrator, what is something silly and frivolous you'd love to just blow some money on?
I'm not sure I will be super rich and famous. Just I am.
I know you.
I think I'll probably be quite famous. You have a feeling that I'll be okay, great. Yeah, just okay. We'll say I am then super rich and famous. I'll probably be quite sensible actually. I'll probably get a bus, and it would probably have a library, of course, because libraries are very sensible, so it had its own library. And then I'd probably, of course, I need to eat, so I'd have my own restaurant with my chef on another level, and then maybe an ice cream parlour. It's all very sensible, of course. And then maybe a swimming pool on top, I thought, and then I'd travel around. Yeah, so
I love that. Honestly, I would do the same thing, but with heaps of dogs running wild, because I love dogs.
Oh, cats. I'd have cats on mine.
Now into the speed questions.
Ooh, okay.
What are you writing or drawing at the moment?
I am mostly drawing at the moment, so I'm doing Nina Rycroft course, illustration course. That's really, really fun. I've just finished writing a story about an alien, which you helped critique. So thank you for that.
It's a really good story.
Thank you.
What is your favourite ice cream flavour?
Oh, caramel with like the caramel swirled in and the chunks of fudge. And,
Salted caramel
that's my
ripped
favourite.
with chunks of caramel. Oh yes,
Yeah,
best
that's
type.
yummy.
Which book character do you or have you had a crush on?
Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice.
Keep hearing that name everywhere. It must be very popular. What was your worst subject in school?
Maths. I don't even have to think about maths. And like from school, I've just got gradually worse at maths. Yeah.
I don't like maths either.
Yeah, should be banned.
Who is your favourite or most inspirational author or illustrator?
I would say Roald Dahl. He's just funny, amazing, but I love how all his stories are really insightful as well, really subtle, but very insightful too.
Yeah, I love his stories too. They were my childhood. Do you remember the first book you ever read? Or if not, your favourite childhood book that you loved to read?
I really don't remember the first book I ever read, but I do remember The Secret Garden was probably my favourite book, and we actually had the audio version, which back then was tape cassette, so that shows my age. I used to listen to that one a lot.
What is the weirdest place or thing you've gotten inspiration from for your writing?
I'd probably say the house I grew up in, because it was 300 years old and really, really spooky and haunted. And I spent my whole childhood being terrified, basically. But it was very inspirational and gave me a lot of story fodder. That was great and bad at the same time.
That sounds so cool! Do you prefer ebooks or hard books?
I think there's a place for both, but personally I prefer hard books, especially for children's picture books.
Yeah, you gotta be hard books.
Yeah, I do love them.
What do you see as your biggest achievement so far in life?
Personally, my family, of course, creatively, that's it. Landing my debut contract with Red Paper Kite, that was amazing. I still can't believe it.
They're both such cool achievements.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice to share with young writers and artists?
I would say if there's something like a story or artwork inside you, but you're worried it doesn't fit the rules or it's not conventional, it doesn't fit the current trends, just do it anyway. If you create something from the heart, it will show through in your work. That's my advice, definitely, for anyone.
Beautiful advice. Thank you so much for letting me interview you. This has been fantastic.
Thank you so much, and you're very talented.
Oh, thank you. I hope it can be as amazing as you. Make sure to check out Jeanette Stampone on her social media so we can share her incredible illustrations. And when her book comes out, make sure to grab it.